Hurricane Florence pushes life-threatening conditions in the Carolinas. We'll take a look at how founder Chris Schmiel started the first Paw Paw Festival. And in sports, one Ohio team racked up another win at home, while two others are playing away this week. Newswatch starts right now.
Broadcasting live from WOUB TV in Athens, this is Newswatch.
Florence is now a tropical storm, but it will continue to threaten North and South Carolina. Good evening, I'm Taylor Bocelli. The storm brings both powerful winds and catastrophic freshwater flooding. Florence is at a near standstill, moving west at just 3 miles per hour. There have been 4 reported deaths due to the storm. By early next week, the storm is expected to move north across western Carolina in the central Appalachian Mountains. Winds are expected to reach up to 35 miles from the storm center. Nearly 1.7 million people are under mandatory and voluntary evacuation orders.
It's going to be a very trying period. This is something that we haven't had before, but I'm sure that it's something that we are equal to. We're liable to have bridges that are impassable, roads that are washed out, flash floods, maybe even landslides in the mountains. Do not drive around the barricades. These are the same warnings and urgings we've been doing throughout. Be careful, be smart.
Let's go to Mac Thigpen to see how the storm will affect Ohio.
Broader look at the impacts that Florence will have on our area later in my full forecast. Currently, right now in Athens, we are staying dry, unlike the Carolinas. Sunny skies across much of the region, 86 in Columbus, 85 in Newark, 87 in New Lexington, 87 down in Ironton, and our warmer spot is over in West Virginia, over in Ripley, West Virginia. Taking a look at right now here in Athens, it's 86 degrees, hot and sticky conditions out there, but it is dry and calm. As per last weekend, we saw over 4 inches of rain, but we are dry to start off this beautiful weekend. And the Paw Paw Festival, northeast winds at about 5 miles per hour. So looking at tonight across the region for Friday night football, it's 82 degrees by kickoff, clear skies, and by halftime, we don't cool off much, 78 degrees, calm winds. And by our last play, that final whistle, as we're down in grit and all that, and our final fourth quarter, even overtime in some games, 75 degrees. It's going to be a mild evening tonight, but it looks like a good night for football. And you won't have a jacket. You won't need that jacket. It's not sweater weather yet. So Taylor, seems like a good night to go out and watch some high school football.
Thanks, Matt. Construction of the Northwest Bike Path is set to be complete 3 months early. The new estimated completion date is June of 2019. It was set for September. Phase 3 will connect the bike path from Armitage Road to University Estates Boulevard. Athens City Council members discussed Phase 3 of the project Monday night. Councilman Peter Kotze said the city needs an additional $100,000 to complete the project. The city of Athens is talking about a plan to upgrade their parking meters. The proposed plan would replace the current parking meters with so-called smart parking meters. The smart meters accept debit and credit cards as well as payments made via parking apps. So no more carrying around change. The project will cost the city over $400,000. City Council will vote on the proposed plan in December. Ohio Representative Ryan Smith now has a new opponent for the 93rd District. Samantha Thomas Bush from Lawrence County filed to campaign for the seat. At first, Jim Rumley was set up to run against Smith for the seat, but dropped out of the race. Then the Ohio Democratic Party recruited Thomas Bush to campaign instead. Thomas Bush will face off against Smith, who was first elected in 2012 and is currently serving in his third 2-year term. More hiking drills could be coming to Athens County after the Athens Conservancy purchased 240 acres of land in the Dow Lake watershed. The property is next to Stroud's Run State Park and on both sides of Stroud's Run Road. Plans for the property have not been set yet, but there is potential for trail construction. The area will be named after a Meigs County resident who participated in Athens Conservancy activities. 3 fire departments in Southeast Ohio are receiving grants to buy new equipment. The grants total more than $400,000 being split between 40 departments across the state. The money will be used for specialized washing machines. The Ohio Bureau of Workers' Compensation says cleaning the gear will get rid of residue that could cause a number of health issues. Ohio's process for selecting medical marijuana grower applicants is full of errors, says the state auditor. Republican Auditor David Yost says the Department of Commerce exceeded its authority when it awarded 2 additional licenses to cultivators. He also found weaknesses in how the Department of Commerce protects passwords and system folders. While the department doesn't agree with every finding, it acknowledges there is room for improvement. Obama is blasting demagogues, those who promise simple fixes to complicated problems. The former president spoke at a packed rally for Ohio governor candidate Richard Cordray. He didn't mention Trump by name, but did say the person in the White House. Obama emphasized the need to vote.
Because people of both parties and people who don't have a party affiliation should be concerned with our current course, should be concerned about the basic institutions of our democracy, should want to see a restoration of honesty and decency and lawfulness to our government, and should want to see some sort of checks and balances on what's happening right now.
Conroy will be facing Republican candidate Mike DeWine in November. Paul Manafort will cooperate with special counsel Robert Mueller's investigation of Russian interference in the 2016 election. According to a court filing today, Manafort pleaded guilty to 1 count of conspiracy against the U.S. and 1 count of conspiracy to obstruct justice. The former Trump campaign chairman must participate in interviews with investigators, provide documents, and testify if needed. Manafort's attorney said his client is doing it for his family.
He's accepted responsibility. And we wanted to make sure that his family was able to remain safe and live a good life.
Before his plea deal, Manafort faced the possibility of decades in prison from more than 20 other criminal counts. Given his age, it could have effectively been a life term.
I'm Noah Wolf. Coming up in sports, Ohio volleyball finishes up their non-conference schedule today and tomorrow. And the Bengals had their first divisional test last night. Those stories and more next on Newswatch.
Eight long months, folks, but your patience has paid off. I'm Blake Baker, host of our special 20th season, here to say football is back, and we have never been more excited. Each week, our crew will have fresh highlights and all the history you can handle. But we also need a few things from you. First, watch our show. We go live at 11:30 Friday nights and air again Saturdays at 11 a.m. Next, connect with us online. Our Twitter, Facebook, Snapchat, and website are your best resources for daily content. And always remember, there's nothing better than Friday nights and Gridiron Glory.
This is a box that showed you a world beyond your own. It was just a box, but the world has changed, and so have we. And now the box can be almost any size or shape. And you decide what you want to explore. Anytime, any place. Break out of the box with PBS.
I'm such a huge fan of PBS. For my entire life, it's been our window into a world of the arts that isn't available anywhere else on TV. We learn about our numbers and our letters and singing through music, through the incredible children's programming they have. And then we grow up and we get to see the world of the arts, whether it's ballet or opera or Broadway, and so many other amazing moments that you wouldn't get anywhere else except for PBS.
I loved Ken Burns' series on the Civil War. It was deeply impacting. I love history. To have those stories told through these letters, through stories of love and loss, it rewrote the book on how to tell a story. When television was invented, there were a lot of people who had dreams about what it could do. I think PBS still aspires for and often succeeds at reaching the highest ideals of what television could be.
Welcome back. Welcome back. I'm Noah Wolf. The Cincinnati Bengals started off their season on the right foot last Sunday with a win over Indianapolis. Last night, they hosted divisional rival Baltimore, a team against which they've gone 2-2 over the past 2 seasons. The Bengals started this game off hot. After driving down the field, Andy Dalton finds A.J. Green in the corner of the end zone, and just like that, it's 7-0 Cincinnati. Those two would just keep rolling throughout the first half. Dalton to Green again here. The receiver does most of the work, breaks a couple tackles, then breaks free. 32 yards to the house. Bengals lead by 14. Next possession for Cincinnati, their 12-play, 72-yard drive is capped off by this 7-yard touchdown pass to guess who? A.J. Green. 3 touchdowns in the first half of the Bengals wideout. It's Green 21, Baltimore 0. But it wouldn't be a rivalry game without the threat of a comeback, right? We'll skip ahead to the fourth quarter. Baltimore trailing by 11. Joe Flacco airs this one out. It's a jump ball, and his receiver, John Brown, comes down with it. The 2-point conversion fails, so it's 28-23 at that point. Bengals still ahead. But the Ravens' comeback effort was too little too late. With 2 minutes left to go in the game, Flacco is sacked by Sean Williams. He fumbles the ball. Jordan Willis recovers to seal the deal for Cincinnati. They improve to 2-0 with a 34-23 victory over the Ravens. Elsewhere on the gridiron, the Ohio Bobcats are gearing up for what may be their toughest test of the season. Their matchup did get a bit easier this week when it was announced that the game was moved to Nashville, Tennessee, a neutral site, rather than the scheduled true road game in Charlottesville, Virginia. Their opponent didn't change, though. They're taking on Virginia, their only Power 5 matchup of the year. The Commodores currently stand at 1-1 after taking a tough loss last weekend to Indiana. The Bobcats, however, won their only game of the season 2 weeks ago, narrowly defeating FCS opponent Howard. Kickoff between Ohio and Virginia is scheduled for Saturday at 4:30. From one Ohio team to another, Bobcat field hockey was on a 3-game losing streak coming into today's game against Appalachian State. The two teams were held scoreless through the first half, though Ohio took more shots on goal than the Mountaineers. 9 minutes after halftime, Jillian Shive broke the deadlock with her 3rd goal of the season. That proved to be all Ohio needed as they held on for a 1-0 victory. The Bobcats now stand at 2-4 on the season. They're back in action next Thursday at home against California Davis. While field hockey played within the friendly confines of Athens, the Ohio volleyball team traveled to Columbia, Missouri for the Mizzou Invitational. Ohio got off to a hot start in set number 1 against Drake, winning 25-14, their largest margin of victory of the season so far. They let the next two sets slip through their fingers, though. The Bobcats used an 18-7 run to win set 4, but they dropped set 5 and the match. The Bobcats will take on host Missouri tonight, and they'll finish their non-conference play tomorrow afternoon against Texas A&M Corpus Christi. I'm Noah Wolf, and that's it for sport. Now we'll head over to Matt for your final look at this weekend's weather.
From the Newswatch Weather Center, I'm Matt Thigpen. 88 degrees was our high today here in Athens. 83 is our normal, so we're about 5 degrees above the normal. Our record was in 1985 of 92 degrees. And I also want to point out this, 1 year before, our low temperature was 29 degrees. So big difference in temperatures as we get towards this time of the year. Looking at conditions right now in Athens, 86 degrees. We've cooled down just 2 degrees since our high temperature today. It's hot and sticky out there, but we're seeing dry and calm conditions unlike a week ago. Winds out of the north-northeast at 5 miles per hour. Looking across the region, we have 85 in Newark, 86 in Columbus, 87 in New Lexington, and 87 down in Ironton. Again, our warmer spot is over in Ripley. And these conditions will continue to cool throughout the evening. But taking a look at Tropical Storm Florence, our latest update at 5 o'clock, movement is just west at 3 miles per hour. Pressure is up, which is good. That means the storm is weakening up at 972 millibars. Sustained winds still at 70 miles per hour. So that is pretty strong. And here's a satellite image from 5 p.m. of the storm. Here we are up in Athens, southeast Ohio. So we're getting some clouds from the storm as it continues to spiral slowly but surely inland. Looking at our impacts, it'll slowly work its way in. See, it meanders this weekend down here in the Carolinas, but it starts to get kicked up by our jet stream, and by Monday night and throughout the day on Monday, we will see showers move into the region due to Florence. Tomorrow's highs, 86 down in Ironton, 87 down in Jackson, 87 here in Athens. So we'll be into the mid to upper 80s once again for much of the region. Looking at tonight's lows, 69 down in Ironton, that is a nice low. 68 in Athens, 68 in New Lexington. So we'll be in the upper 60s throughout tonight. So it's not going to be a cool night, a cool, crisp fall night. No horse and buggies, no hay rides, no pumpkins quite yet. So we'll have to keep that sweater weather to T for now. 82 is the kickoff for Friday night football. By halftime, we'll only cool down to 78, and by our last play, final whistle, 75. Mild evening, but clear skies. There's also physics and astronomy is having their telescope at the ridges open tonight and tomorrow, so you might want to check that out as you'll have a good chance to look at a lot of stars out there tonight as the clear conditions are here. Taking a look at our weekend and the Ohio Pawpaw Festival, 72 degrees tonight, calm evening, 86 tomorrow, beautiful weather, mostly sunny. So I would consider that to be the best day unless you go early Sunday before afternoon showers move into the region. See a high of 81 degrees, so not as hot on Sunday. Taking a look at our extended forecast, again, 86 on Saturday, beautiful clear skies, 81 on, Sunday, 77. We cooled down because of those rain showers influenced by Tropical Storm Florence. 83 on Tuesday, and we continue that 80-degree weather on Wednesday, but we dry out for the end of next week. 81 on Wednesday, 82 and 83. It's like Sesame Street, 81, 82, 83. Taylor?
Thanks, Matt. Sugar-free diets are a big trend this year. But quitting sugar is unlikely to improve your health. Cutting down on ultra-processed foods, eating more vegetables, and exercising will. The sugar-free diet is restrictive. Such foods as whole grains, blueberries, and grapefruits are allowed, while white bread, bananas, and raisins are not. Also, health is not simply about a person's size, weight, or the foods we try to avoid. Coming up after the break, reporter Caitlin Coolidge takes a deeper look at Ohio's native fruit.
WOUB is member-supported public television. Your contribution keeps WOUB available in your community. Become a member with a gift of $60 or more for access to stream more than 1,000 of your favorite PBS programs through WOUB Passport. Programs like Nature, Sherlock, and all episodes of Downton Abbey and Victoria. Pledge now at WOUB.org. And thank you.
I love PBS because at the heart of everything PBS does is education.
I use PBS not only in my home, but also in my classroom.
It's kind of the idea of being the great equalizer for learning and for education.
I'm a lifelong learner, and PBS has always been part of that journey for me.
I love PBS because PBS supports teachers.
They know what works for kids and what's best for kids, and that's why I love PBS.
What are you doing?
Possibilities. Your day is filled with them.
Reach up, energy in the fingertips, collapse. TV, play Downton Abbey.
And PBS helps everyone discover theirs. Anytime, anywhere.
Up in the sky, you can see it.
PBS, we're with you for life.
PBS had a special on Pearl Harbor, and once Landon started watching the show about the Arizona, he completely became fascinated.
That's Donald Stratton, and that's me.
And then his Christmas wish this year was to meet Donald Stratton, one of the survivors from the Arizona.
So good to see you, buddy.
Everything that Landon has learned from PBS, it's immeasurable.
This is for you.
Thank you, big guy.
He is living proof of the effect that PBS has had on his life.
The 20th annual Pawpaw Festival starts today. Newswatch's Caitlin Coolidge went to founder Chris Schmeel's farm to see what inspired him to start the festival.
Off of Cherry Road in Albany, Ohio, is where Chris Schmeel grows his pawpaws for the annual Pawpaw Festival. He acquired the skills needed to learn how to grow these specialty fruits, native to Ohio, when he was a student at Ohio University.
I'm sort of environmentally minded and made my own major at OU, and it was called Holistic Transition to Sustainability. And so I was trying to figure out a way to live a more sustainable life. And so, you know, you've heard that saying, when you have lemons, you make lemonade. So around here in Athens County, we're blessed with pawpaws. So a lot of these pawpaws around here are just wild pawpaws.
Schmiel says he wanted to create something to reflect the unique spirit and culture of Athens and promote his values of sustainability he acquired in school.
I was in the process of trying to basically educate people about pawpaws, and had studied other food festivals, like the Ramp festivals in West Virginia. I went to the Gourd Festival, I went to the Pumpkin Festival, I went to all these other festivals, and there weren't any pawpaw festivals out there.
And so Schmiel worked with the city of Albany to create a pawpaw festival.
But that first year we had the pawpaw cook-off, the best pawpaw competition, and the pawpaw eating contest. So we had all the sort of elements of a pawpaw festival, and we had music and arts and all kinds of stuff. But we had judges there. We had the senior garden editor from Better Homes and Gardens magazine. Pretty big deal. You know, that guy, Craig Summers Black, he actually loves pawpaws. And he had named it the Landscape Tree of the Year or something. We also had a writer from the Washington Post, and he came down. And then we also had the director of our local visitors bureau. So that was sort of exciting to start. You know, these people are coming to Albany, Ohio. And, you know, we had a couple hundred people, and it was on a Sunday, and it was in October. But yeah, the first one was over, and it was relatively successful, I'd say. We had a good time.
20 years later, Schmiel says the Pawpaw Fest is different than other festivals.
One of the things about our festival is it's pretty diverse. And, you know, we have a lot of educational stuff, which, you know, it's not like a typical festival. You know, like, we have all these, like, educational workshops. You know, we have a pawpaw tent just filled up with pawpaw people talking about pawpaws, which, of course, for the Pawpaw Festival, we want that to happen. But we also have, like, this Ohio Country Fair tent, which has, you know, sustainable living type of workshops. And we sort of, you know, try to highlight some of our local people, but then we bring in people from around the country as well.
When Newswatch returns, learn what it takes to grow pawpaws, along with other fun facts about this unique fruit. When Newswatch returns.
Stay tuned to WOUB. Here's a look at what's coming up tonight on your public television station.
This is a box that showed you a world beyond your own. It was just a box, but the world has changed, and so have we. And now the box can be almost any size or shape. And you decide what you want to explore. Anytime, any place. Break out of the box with PBS.
It's been 8 long months, folks, but your patience has paid off. I'm Blake Baker, host of our special 20th season, here to say football is back, and we have never been more excited. Each week, our crew will have fresh highlights and all the history you can handle. But we also need a few things from you. First, watch our show. We go live at 11:30 Friday nights and air again Saturdays at 11 a.m. Next, connect with us online. Our Twitter, Facebook, Snapchat, and website are your best resources for daily content. And always remember, there's nothing better than Friday nights and Gridiron Glory.
I'm such a huge fan of PBS. For my entire life, it's been our window into a world of the arts that isn't available anywhere else on TV. We learn about our numbers and our letters and singing through music, through the incredible children's programming they have. And then we grow up and we get to see the world of the arts, whether it's ballet or opera or Broadway, and so many other amazing moments that you wouldn't get anywhere else except for PBS.
WOUB is member-supported public television. Your contribution keeps WOUB available in your community. Become a member with a gift of $60 or more for access to stream more than 1,000 of your favorite PBS programs through WOUB Passport. Programs like Nature, Sherlock, and all episodes of Downton Abbey and Victoria. Pledge now at woub.org. And thank you.
While pawpaws are native to Ohio, it isn't exactly something you can find at your local grocery store. The word pawpaw came from the Shawnee Native American tribe and means healthy fruit. And it's true, scientists have found that pawpaws have 3 times as much vitamin C as apples and twice as much as bananas. They also provide more essential amino acids than the average fruit. For every 100 grams, pawpaw fruit provides 10% of the daily value for potassium, 39% for iron, 130 for manganese, 11 for magnesium, and 25% of the daily value for copper. However, eating up unripe pawpaw can make you feel nauseous because of its unique chemical makeup. Now, a pawpaw is ready to eat when its skin is soft and showing some brown or black spots. Pawpaws can ripen quickly, which isn't ideal for commercial food production. So you can cut them open like you do an avocado and remove these large flat seeds before eating, as you can see here. The time to pick and eat pawpaws is limited to about a 3-week span during September. A pawpaw flower is crimson red and has a rotten smell to it. Now this smell attracts flies who then pollinate the flowers. Zebra swallowtail butterflies are also known to pollinate pawpaws as well. Now it takes about 7 years for a pawpaw tree to bear any fruit. Another reason why they are not commercially sold. And pawpaws have a custard-like texture to them and resemble the taste of a banana mixed with a mango. Now before eating a pawpaw, the large flat seeds need removed, and after that, pawpaws can be used to make bread, ice cream, sauce, beer, or just simply eaten however they are. George Washington was known to love pawpaws, and he even planted pawpaw trees on his Mount Vernon estate. And today, pawpaw trees line the walkway to Washington's tomb, where visitors can pick the fallen pawpaws on the ground. So if you've never tasted or seen a pawpaw, you have the opportunity this weekend at the 20th Ohio Pawpaw Festival at Lake Snowden. Now, if George Washington liked them, maybe you will too.
And now for a final look at our weather. One last time, 68 degrees tonight, clear skies, mild evening. Winds will calm down slightly. We'll have a couple little 3-mile-per-hour breezes tonight. Looking ahead to that Pawpaw Festival schedule and this weekend. Tonight, 72 degrees, calm evening, but mild for this time of year. Saturday, 86 degrees, mostly sunny, beautiful day for the pawpaws. Stay hydrated out there. Wear that sunscreen because I did burn a couple weeks ago. Sunday, 81 degrees, afternoon showers move in, and Florence remnants move in on Monday for us, but we moderate out into the lower 80s through the week. Taylor?
An African elephant at Louisville Zoo is going to be a new mom. Mickey got an ultrasound yesterday. She's in the 11th month of her pregnancy, which could go on for another 10 months. Zoo staff said they saw a fetus about the size of a medium-sized watermelon. Mickey's calf is expected to be about 200 to 300 pounds at birth. And that does it for our broadcast this evening. Thanks for watching. I'm Taylor Pacelli. Stay tuned for the PBS NewsHour coming up next. And remember, you can find the latest news anytime at woub.org. Have a great night.